Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do another velocity banking review. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you throw all your money into debt with the help of a line of credit. Okay. And all you need to do is just a few things. Number one is you just need a budget. So, we have income, expenses, and look at this. We have a negative penny in savings. So we literally have one more penny in our expenses than we do in our income. So we're in the negative here. And in our expense breakdown, we have to make sure that we list every single debt that we have. So we have 10 credit cards here. We have an auto loan. We have a student loan. We got a mortgage. And look at this big student loan, $300,000. So I'm assuming this person is a doctor. Okay. We're going to assume this person's a doctor. And as a doctor, we got a nice car, $55,000 car, and a $500,000 mortgage. Folks, if this were me, if I were a doctor, I'd just get a $300,000 mortgage. I think the $500,000 mortgages, especially in this area of Georgia, are the really nice gargantuan palace houses, especially if you live an hour or two away from Atlanta. Okay. Right? So let's go ahead and get started and do the velocity banking portion. So, velocity banking is really about where do we direct our flow of money. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste all of this, right? And our goal is to not save money ever, right? Ever. And what we're trying to do is get rid of all of our debt. Okay. Now, we're still going to have our general expenses, food, gas, insurance, and it's estimated to be about $3,000 a month. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is assume we have access to a huge line of credit, $175,000 at an 8% interest rate. Now, is it realistic that if we have all this debt at this time and we only have a penny left over that somebody will give us a line of credit? I doubt it. I doubt it. And here's the number one rule of getting credit is that banks don't lend money to people who need it, right? So this is kind of a warning for you all to never even get here and learn this strategy before you even tackle on some debt, right? And so me personally, I have over $575,000 in lines of credit, over 575,000. Okay. And I got it because I did not need the money. It's how credit works, okay? So let's go ahead and assume we have a 175,000. And here's how this works, right? So how does this savings part work? Well, what you're gonna do is once you move some debt into the line of credit, okay, you're gonna throw all of your when your money comes into your checking account, you're gonna throw it into the line of credit. That's literally what I do right here, and that's why I always have a zero balance at the end of every month, right? Or maybe you could leave a penny or two, just so that the bank doesn't think you're not using it. But I always leave a zero balance because I like to live my life a little dangerously. Um, and that, yeah, so that's how the zero savings works. So let's go ahead and move the credit card debt. And I think this is $167,000 of credit card debt. In fact, let me just quickly confirm 5, 8, 15, 27, 37, 10, 35, 12, 12, 18. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this and $167,000 of credit card debt. Okay. 167000. All right. So guess what happens when we just move that credit card debt into the line of credit? Oh my goodness. Don't these all go to zero? All 10 credit cards? And it's like, well, blam, we literally went from a penny to $5,345.82. And this is where that I can't believe it's not butter moment comes in. I don't know if you remember those commercials with Fabio. I can't believe it's not butter. Well, I'm trying to come up with a catchphrase with velocity banking. I don't think, but it doesn't sound as I can't believe it's not butter, but I can't believe it's this easy. I literally went, if I were in this situation and I had a free, clear, available line of credit, which you won't, right? Because banks don't lend money to people who need it. But if I had a penny, a negative penny left over, not even a penny left over, a negative penny, I could literally go from a negative penny to $5,345.82. I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe it. I didn't make more money. Did I make more money? If you ask more people and they look at this column, do you need to make more money? It's like, yeah, this person needs to make more money, get out of debt. No, I don't. No, I don't. It's about directing the flow of money. So now the final step is you put your entire pay into that line of credit and then you take your expenses out you take your, well, not WCP. I can't even look at the keyboard. Expenses out of that line of credit, right? That's all it is. And then after every single month, the balance will go down about $5,345.82. Okay. So now let's go ahead and calculate this, right? And G2 plus H2 minus. So the way that we calculate the next month's balance is paycheck in, expenses out. So we're going to take the next month's or previous month's balance, previous month's interest, and then minus our cash flow, because that should be how much the debt gets reduced after every single month. And then what we're going to do is take the interest. Okay, take the interest. And the interest is calculated by the average daily balance multiplied by the interest rate divided by 12. And could you get an 8% interest rate on a home equity line of credit? Yeah, you can. In fact, mine went from 8 to 7.5. I got two letters from the bank where it's like, one letter was like, hey, your interest rate has been reduced from 8 to 7.75. And then I got another letter from the bank. So like, hey, your interest rate has been reduced from 7.75 to 7.5. So anything's possible if you're delusional like me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy this. And then we see that after every single month, the debt is not as a problem as we thought it was. And here's the thing. Okay. I'm going to make it a little tradition to put a goat at the end of each month, right? So goat here, goat there, goat there. And why do I put a goat? Because I am the greatest of all time. I literally am, according to ChatGPT, greatest of all time. This is me, according to one of those AI drawing apps or whatever, because I paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. It's my time to flex right now before I get back to the velocity banking simulation. But yes, I did pay off a mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So let's go ahead and be the goatiest goat that we can be. And that's why we're just going to keep adding these goats. All right. How many goats are we going to have for every month that we pay off our debt? We're going to have a lot. We're going to have at least 35 goats. Okay. So it took us about 35 years to pay off $167,000 of credit card debt. Not bad. Not bad. 35 months to pay off 167K of CC debt. Okay. Credit card. That's a lot of goats. All right. So now, what do we do now? We tackle on the auto loan, the student loan, and the mortgage. Okay. Now let's go ahead and figure out what the current balance of the loan is. And luckily, we have a loan calculator for that. So let's go to our loan calculator right here. So all we got to do is just plug in the numbers, and then it's going to spit out what the current balance is. Okay. And so we have this 24 grand balance in our loan. Now, some people might be like, hey, student loan has the highest interest rate. Why wouldn't you attack that one? And the reason why we don't attack that one is because we're more cash flow focused. Okay. So if I pay off this 24 grand, I'm going to get $1,000 of cash flow available for me to use to pay off my debt. But if I focus on paying off this 232 grand, I'm only going to get $3,400 of cash flow. And this is the worst. The mortgage, 468,000 to only get $2,100 back in our cash flow. So let's go ahead and do this. Get this one, put it into a line of credit and get that $1,000 of cash flow back. So let's go ahead and do this plus 24257.57. Okay. And so now we move that auto loan into the line of credit, and then this is 0. And now what's our cash flow? Ooh, more than 6 grand. I love it. All right. So now let's go ahead and do this and update our cash flow number, which is 6358.73. And we just keep adding the goats to our goat farm. Whoa. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 months to pay off the car loan. My goodness. You're a madman. All right. So 39 months to pay off, which would be 167 plus 55. So that would be 222,000 CC. And then now what we do is at the end of 39 months, we figure out what the balance of these other two loans are. Now, should we put this into a line of credit? Probably not. And the reason why, well, actually, it might depend, okay? Now, first of all, this is a huge balance, right? 224,000. Do we have 224,000 in a line of credit? Our line of credit limit's only 175. So one easy way to get rid of the debt is just do something called chunking or incremental payoff, which is split the loan into little pieces and just pay it off over and over again. Okay? We might want to do that. Now, if the line of credit interest rate and the loan interest rate are the same, I would say, hey, it might be feasible to replace the loan with the line of credit. But I don't necessarily recommend that, but it could be an option. But let's just do our little chunky monkey, whatever it's called, and split the loan into pieces. And so all I got to do is just put this in the velocity banking calculator thing, Excel thingamajigger, and then we'll figure out easily how long it will take for us to pay off this, what we thought would be an extremely daunting, psychologically hard 22434.2.59. So 22434.2.59. Um, uh, student med school student loan, right? So it's not a problem anymore. At least I don't think it is. 7%, 10 years, for 3483.25. 3483.25. All right. So now, what is our income? I can't even remember. Our income is not $5,000. It's 14,950. All right, so let's just do $15,000 chunks. Sorry, 414950. And what is our expenses? Our expenses is everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off. So it's just only these two. So let's go ahead and copy and paste. And here, our total expenses is $5,108.02. 5108.02. All right, 5108.02. All right, let's pay off that med school loan in 2.1 years. Easy. And that's how I defeated Shaq. Okay. If you don't know, that's from the brother of Nick Carter, Aaron Carter, who unfortunately passed away. But I thought his music was catchy. All right, so 2.1 years. 2.1 years. That's another goat. 2.1 years of goats. All right. So 39 plus 2.1 times 12. That's about 60, we'll say 65 months. And let's just do this. So that's 522K of debt. And why did I put CC here? It's not a credit card. All right. So now this is 0. And what is our mortgage at this moment in time? 65 months. So this is 0. And then this is 65. And I remember back in the day when I was in high school, my English teacher would get so angry about the phrase this moment in time because it was considered to be redundant. Just say right now or this moment. There were other ones too. I don't know if English teachers these days even correct grammar anymore because I feel like schools these days are like Lord of the Flies. I was a school teacher for 6 months and I can't believe how bad it was. But that's maybe we'll do a reaction video on that. Okay. All right. Um, all right. So let's go ahead and do this and put in the mortgage balance. So originally it was, let's do this, 0, $500,000, no, $500,000. And what's the interest rate? Let's take a look at this. It is 3% at 30 years. 3%. And then this is 439,523.38. 439,523.38. 523.38. Okay, the payment amount is 2108.02. 2108.02. And then now our expenses is $3,000. So everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off. 3.3 years. Awesome. And now we're mortgage free. You see how easy that was? Oh my goodness. All right. So 65 divided by 12 plus 3.3. And then in 8.7 years, we are debt free. And that's about $1 million dollars of debt. I think, oh 02 million of debt. Boy, that was so easy. That was so easy. And now we are ranking it in because we are a doctor and we are not a broke doctor. In fact, let me just do a quick Google search, right? How many broke doctors are there? Many doctors face financial challenges. The average med school debt is around 200. Hey, we could probably pay it off faster because we're doing like a $300,000 med school debt right here. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, as you can see, if you're a doctor, especially if you're a doctor watching this, the most important thing you probably have to learn, and this is true for real estate investors as well, is knowing your numbers and the cash flow management. See, too many doctors and too many people in general um, really don't want to focus on the numbers. And I think the reason why they don't want to focus on the numbers is because they wanna feel like they wanna feel altruistic, right? It's like, well, I wanna be in their med school application, nobody writes, "Well, I wanna be a doctor because I know I'm gonna make a lot of money," even though they know they're gonna make a lot of money, right? But at the same time, I really do think that if you're not intentional with your money, like, "Hey, I'm gonna make a lot of money, I'm gonna be intentional with this," you won't struggle. But if you're not intentional, it's just gonna your money's gonna be all over the place like this average American here. And some people, again, because they're new to the channel, they're like, the average American doesn't make 14 grand. That's not the point. Given the same income, what's your main operating account? Is it your checking account or are you using your line of credit as your main operating account? Right. And so as you see right here, um, this is not my main operating account because I'm leaving it at zero, right? I'm not paying my bills or just dumping my checking account with my leftover savings, right? I'm using my line of credit. And if you take a look here, this HELOC, home equity line of credit, this is my main operating account, $280,000. I probably could get a new one for about 320 right now, I think. But it's okay. I don't need a bigger line of credit. I got more money than I need, $575,000 in lines of credit. And that's why I'm going to keep getting more lines of credit because I don't need money. More lines of credit, don't need money, probably a million soon. All right. Well, that's it for today, folks. This is a Korean Atlanta mentorship, just another velocity banking review for this beautiful cold Saturday in Georgia right here. I think most of us are stuck because of the weather. And in Georgia, when it snows, one day every couple of years, the state has to shut down because we don't have the infrastructure to deal with little itty bitty snow, which would cost black ice. And then you slide and then your car crash. Ask me how I know. Okay. So, all right. Well, that's it for today. Have a great day, folks. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship.